Hey guys, what's up? So you can see this is my topology. Okay, so now I create SNMP configuration. Okay, so I in this video I learned how to configure SNMP. Okay, so you can see I take two routers, two switch and two PC. Okay, and I can take already our PC IP address and our default gateway IP address and our router IP address. Okay, so now I configure this topology. Okay, so first of all we start our router 1, router 2, switch 1 and switch 2, and our PC we are now also started. Okay, so now we configure first of all our PC. Okay, go to our PC, then we can write here our PC IP address 68. Okay, 10.11. Then we can write here also our subnet mask. Then we can write here our default gateway 10.1. Then we can enter. Now we check show IP. So you can see our IP configuration totally successful. Then we go to our PC2. Then we can write here IP and our IP address we can write here, and our subnet mask and our default gateway. Okay, 20.1. Then we can check now show IP. So you can see our IP configuration successful. Okay, so then we go to our router. We go to our router configuration, double click, then we go to our router CLI, then enable config terminal, then interface. Okay, 0 by 1, then our IP address 192.168.10.1 and our subnet mask we can write here, then no shutdown. Okay, then interface 0 by 0 and our IP address 10.10.10.1 and our subnet mask we can write here. Okay, then no shutdown. Then Control Z we can exit, and now we can check show running configuration. So you can see our configuration successfully or not. Then we can write a show IP interface brief. So you can see our protocol. You can see our protocol status up. Okay. Then we go to our router 2, and we can write here no. Then we can waiting sometimes. Then enable config terminal, our interface 0 by 1, then our IP address 192.168.20.1 and our subnet mask we can write here, then no shutdown. Okay, then interface 0 by 0, our IP address we can write here 10.10.10.2 and our subnet mask we can write here, and no shutdown, and Control Z press we can now exit show. Then I can check show IP interface brief, our IP configuration successfully or not. Yes, our configuration successfully. Okay, so now I configure our SNMP. Okay, so first of all we go to our router 1. We go to our router 1, then enable config terminal. Okay, so now I configure SNMP. Okay, so we can write here SNMP server community public. Why I using public? You can using any name. Okay, so I using public because public as a default password. Okay, so default password, then we can write arrow, then we can write next step SNMP server community Now we can write private. Okay, private rw meaning read and write. Okay, rw meanings read and write. Then we can write here SNMP server. Then location. Okay, location, which location? This is my R1. Okay, so now I write here lab R1. Okay, then we go to our next step, SNMP server location. We can also write, and then we write here SNMP server contact. Contact, who is contact? You can any names, you can using any names. Okay, I can using ABCD. Then we can int. Then our router 1 SNMP configuration complete. Then we go to our router 2. Okay, we go to our router 2 and enable config terminal and SNMP. Same system, we can configure router 2 server community public arrow. Then we can write here SNMP server community private RW, I mean read and write. Then we can write here SNMP server location. Okay, location, which location? This is our R2. Okay, this is our R2. So now I write lab R2. Okay, then we can write here our SNMP server contact. Okay, contact, we can write here contact. Who is contact? ABCD. You can write any name, no problem. Then end. So we can our router to configure done. Then we go to switch. Okay, our switch configuration. So go to our switch, double click and go to our switch CLI and switch enable config terminal. Then same system, SNMP server community public arrow. Then we can write a SNMP server private RW, right and row meaning. Then we can SNMP server location. Which location? This is our lab switch 1. Okay, why is I using switch 1? Because I have already two switch. Then we can write here SNMP server contact, we can write here any names ABCD. I can write here and it. Okay, then we go to switch 2, I mean opposite side switch. Then we write here enable config terminal. Okay, SNMP server community, we can write here public arrow. Then SNMP server, sorry, SNMP server community, we can write here private. Okay, private RW, I mean read and write. Then we can write a SNMP server location. Okay, location, which location? This is our switch 2. Okay, so I can write here lab SW2. This is our switch 2 location. Then we can write here SNMP server contact, I can write here ABCD. Okay, then we can write here int. So our configuration successfully or not, now we can check. Okay, so first of all we go to our router 1, go to our router 1. Then we write here show SNMP. So you can see show SNMP, you can see our SNMP is totally successfully. Okay, then we go to our router 2 and check. We go to router 2 and I can write here show SNMP. So you can see our SNMP configuration successfully. So in this video I show how to configure SNMP. So thank you so much. Like and subscribe. Thank you.